Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin.
And John.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we're taking a long, hard look back at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, you guys. And we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
We thank you so much for joining us. We are on our final episode of Commando.
Yeah, we hope you guys have enjoyed it as much as we have. It's been awesome.
I used to watch this movie. It was on heavy rotation, like on, I think, maybe Atlanta Channel 36, WATL. Like, what happened to the day where things would be on, like, it'd be on weekly? Yeah. You know, like any given weeknight of the week, it would be on. They knew what was up. And I would watch it every time it was on because I fucking love this movie. And rewatching it, watching it unedited, watching it on Blu-ray is like rekindled my love for this movie.
It's excellent. This was not one that I watched as much as others when I was a kid. I did watch it, and it was, I remember it being on Fox, WATL. But, these last few weeks, getting reacquainted with it have been amazing.
So where did we leave our hero, John Matrix?
Well, in our last episode, Intrepid Friends, Matrix and Cindy stole an Arms Depot worth of weaponry to take out Arius. They evaded LAPD, stole a plane,
evaded the Coast Guard,
met Bill Paxton over the radio, and booked it over to an island somewhere, maybe or maybe not near Santa Barbara.
Off the coast of California somewhere.
From where Arius is planning to stage his invasion of Valverde and where he's also holding little Jenny Matrix.
It fucks me up that he's like got his compound, his army
on U.S. soil.
On U.S. soil. And that... Again, it makes me feel like, is the U.S. government complicit in helping him?
Would you be surprised?
I don't think I could have an international, like, army on Cumberland Island or somewhere here in Georgia or in the Florida Keys and no one knows about it.
Well, Reagan was president, so anything's possible.
Anything goes.
Anything goes. Meanwhile, the 11-hour exactly flight from L.A. to Valverde has landed, and Arius's goons have ID'd Enriquez's body, and Matrix is nowhere to be found. So that means it's time for Jenny to die.
Oh, yeah.
Shit's about to get real.
Bennett is on his way, knife in hand, to kill Jenny.
The hit has been ordered.
Jenny Matrix.
That's right. We cut to Jenny, speaking of, Commando daughter, who is working the boards with the doorknob trying to escape. Come on, Jenny! Bennett's coming!
And meanwhile, Matrix is out in the compound, like, sort of stealthily killing dudes with knives. He throws two knives at the same time.
Daddy's at work out there, you guys.
He's making that bread. He somehow has a knife that like projectiles out of him. He's like, "Como está?"
Oh my God.
I love that kill.
The old peek around the corner and speak your best Spanish trick.
Yeah, man.
That's a lol moment.
This is when I think he's finally... The rest of the goons are aware of his presence.
He's ready to move out into the open.
There starts to be gunfire.
It's time for that sweet debut.
The shooting starts. Sirens are going off. Tons of soldiers come running out of the woodwork.
Yeah, it is officially on. Matrix has to keep stopping and dropping the rocket launcher, which is annoying, to turn around and shoot guys.
Yeah.
I hate that, but you got to do what you got to do.
The screenwriter, D'Souza, had said that in his original script there was like a more, what he called, I think, a more plausible amount of bad guys there, but that the director, Lester, saw a sneak preview of Rambo 2.
Oh my God.
And came back and had said, decided that they needed to top that. And I think D'Souza, who I don't know if we can take him at his word. I don't know him. I'm not vouching for him. But D'Souza quoted Lester as saying, "We've got to have a bigger dick than Rambo," which sounds about right.
That's how I'm 100% on board with that.
But that's how it wound up. This compound battle was huge. And with Matrix killing probably roughly 100 guys.
Yeah. Matrix runs again, pulls a detonator and blows up all the claymores that he planted previously. And Jesus Christ, the explosions. Explosions on explosions.
The buildings appear to be just hollow, but I'm imagining they're barracks with like dozens of guys sleeping inside.
Yeah, or just chilling out, waiting for
playing
dinner, I guess. I don't know. Actually, they're waiting for lunch, I guess, because this is supposed to be morning.
Yeah.
I love also the dummy soldiers that they've got staked in the ground.
They were about as lifelike as scarecrows, as your average scarecrow.
Or a Schwarzenegger.
Oh, man.
They do not move when the mines go off. Anyway, but Matrix has blown up several buildings.
Now, Bennett is like working his way down the hallway and he hears all the commotion popping off out there.
Right.
And he's like, what, Matrix?
Welcome home, John. Or welcome back, John. So glad you could make it. With straight up crazy eyes.
Yeah.
His face is nuts.
And he's fingering his knife almost. Like the way that he strokes his knife borders on sexual.
It's very phallic.
Yeah.
It's very phallic.
He's always like working his fingers up and down the blade.
Which at first, I think that when I saw this with newer adult eyes, I was like, it's not working. But then I watched it again. I was like, there's a sexual undertone here. And I was like, no wonder he's holding it like a penis, like a phallus.
Vernon Wells, the actor, claims he didn't intend any sexual like subtext to
Bullshit.
It. But it's pretty well there on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, whether it was intentional or not, it was there.
Right.
We're not making it up.
No, we have eyes to see and ears to hear. Anyway, there are more explosions, more Matrix running, more explosions, more Matrix running. And then Bennett finally arrives at the room where Jenny's being held.
Hallway, wasn't
That's right. He has some trouble opening the door.
I feel like the door knob on his side just pulls right away.
Pulls right off.
And he has to barge his way through.
That little bit. He comes right through.
There's a board pried away from the doors.
That's right. Jenny's wormed her way out. Bennett runs to look through the hole and sees her running down a nearby staircase.
And Bennett just plows his way through the boarded door, which is like a tough guy move, I guess.
He's very strong.
Or is the wood just weak?
For movie purposes, the wood was weak, but we're supposed to believe that Bennett is like real strong.
Meanwhile, out in on the beach area, like Matrix is killing with machine gun. He's killing with rocket launcher.
He finally the rocket launcher. He gets to make use of those two last rounds.
Yep.
He blows up a jeep full of soldiers, and then he whips around and blows up a gate.
So now that all fucking hell is broken loose, that was Cindy's cue.
That's right.
Call for help.
That's right.
So she's on the radio dropping more Commando, Kirby.
Now Kirby and federal people know what's going on.
Yep.
The federal people are clued in on this.
The federal people. Back on the base, somebody pops in and tells Kirby there's a message for him.
Sir, there's something on the teletype.
That's beautiful.
There's a banana in the tailpipe. We cut then to Matrix, who's made his way into the trees surrounding the mansion and starts just like hundreds of guys running straight at him, and he's cutting the grass out there, man.
It's a full on video game action. He's like they're running with no regard for their own life. He's doing that weird ass Schwarzenegger shit, where it seems like he's not been necessarily properly trained on how to handle these guns, because he's not got the rifle like anchored in his shoulder. He's just shooting from the hip, but holding it out away from his body.
Always.
Yeah.
Do you think it's for the sake, like they were like, don't occlude your face, like don't cover your face up?
I don't know that that's it. I think just no one told him any different way to do it.
Really? Not one person said,
or do you think
Arnold,
they said hold it low?
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, Arnold, that's not how you hold a gun.
You know what?
I feel like Arnold.
I just realized he needs to hold it low so that his biceps can be seen. For real. I swear
true.
to God.
No,
there are shots in this movie that are full on muscle porn where it's like,
we're going to get to some of those later. We're going to get to some, but that's absolutely true. I didn't even think about that, but it's absolutely
like if you're
true.
It up high, you're not showing off your
flex.
physique. You can't see the chest and the arms.
Anyway, he's killing everyone. It turns out Bennett was not wrong. These are the worst soldiers ever.
They really are.
Matrix moves the party to the ground's lush garden.
These guys, these soldiers may as well not even have guns because they're hitting nothing.
Just run up and say hello. The garden's the perfect backdrop to continue the massacre.
Yeah, the garden is like a paradise.
It is. It's beautiful. So many stone things to hide behind, yet no one's hiding. He's lobbing grenades at people. No one moves.
Bodies are just flying through the air, which I don't think is how grenades work. Like if one goes off near you, it springs you into the air. That's some A-team shit.
Yeah, it really is. Also, Matrix is like switching like between machine gun to Uzi to pistol to shotgun. He's just like cycling through. It's like a video game. He's cycling through his weapons.
Once he empties the ammo, he drops that gun and moves on to the next one.
Reload. He's running around with a shotgun, getting his licks in when finally one of the soldiers who have been previously inept actually manages to kind of hurt him with a grenade. And I love that it was a grenade, not like a stray bullet.
Yeah.
It was a grenade.
It like flew him through the air.
Right.
And he had, I guess, some shrapnel like sort of in his side.
Right. I guess it went through his tactical vest.
Yeah. He takes shelter in this kind of garden shed.
He gets up kind of gimpy, which is, it's understandable, and kind of looks around. What does he find?
Everything that a killing man could want. There's like machetes and pitchforks and axes and
saw blades.
Saw blades, of course.
My God.
Anything you might expect to find in there.
So this is where we sort of see that the grenade took a toll. He
takes his vest thing off.
It's time for Arnold to go shirtless. And this was the moment where I realized also that whoever in the makeup department was applying the grease paint, if you've ever been in like a stage play or something like that, and you're supposed to be shirtless and like muscular, and you're not, makeup designers will like put some shadow in places to like accentuate your pecs and your biceps and stuff like. And not that Arnold would need this, but it cuts him even more. So now he's like taking off.
Had the body paint.
Yeah, the body paint is like at the accent points for his pecs, the muscle marks on his body. It's pretty. I was like, Jesus, come on. Like he needs that. But anyway, baddies surround the shed.
Yeah. And one guy gives the command and they just all empty their guns into the shed.
Empty the clips until they're tired and they stop. And the ostensible leader of the group like orders one of them to check it. Why didn't they shoot up the whole building?
I don't know. Because they're mindless. They're mindless. What do you call them?
Drones.
Drones. Yes, they're mindless drones.
So he opens the door in Matrix, who hid in the rafters, and that's why you shoot the whole building. Yeah. Spears the guy with a pitchfork.
He does. He swings down from the rafters.
He killed a guy with a trident.
He's got these circular saw blades. He throws like discs.
Like shurikens.
He scalps one guy with one.
That is amazing.
That was a brutal special effect.
That effect looked great.
Yeah. He throws another one. I think gets a guy in the chest.
Right.
He fucking hits some dude in the dick with an axe.
It gets rustic here.
Yeah, he's going old school. He's like getting back to his Conan roots.
But then this last kill.
Oh, dude, he hacks this guy's arm off with a machete.
Right.
And they say that in the way they originally want to do it was that he hacks the guy's arm off and then he uses the arm to beat the man with, but they thought that was too much.
Yeah, okay. That's too much. He just like scalped a guy with a like buzzsaw blade. Anyway, I love it.
That would have been exactly on par for this movie. I think
just to take the hand and be like, quit hitting yourself. Quit hitting yourself.
Oh, it would have been a beautiful moment.
But then Arnold picks up like an M60. Yeah.
Which is not a gun that a man can hold. Not an average man.
It is when it's time to flex, Kevin.
When you're Matrix.
When it's time to flex.
If your last name is Matrix, you already got double the strength of an average man.
And good because soldiers are coming.
Yep. So he's holding this thing, and that's the muscle porn moment.
That's right.
They got this tight shot. You can't even see Schwarzenegger's face. It's just the waist to the shoulders holding the gun, and like the muscles are pulsating as the gun is shooting.
It would knock you or I down.
It's that scene from Jackie Brown. Yeah. Like the girls with guns. except with a ripped up dude.
Yep. A quick cut shows Jenny running in the subterranean bowels of the compound. It looks exactly like what every basement in the 80s looks like. It's sort of dark, and there are grates and fans, and the walls and the floor are wet.
I felt like as impressive as this mansion was and spacious and all that, this basement was out of scale. It was like Buffalo Bill's basement.
It's huge.
It's huge and sprawling, and it seems larger than even the house was.
It makes sense, though, for this movie. And Bennett is in hot pursuit.
Yeah, he's hot on her tail.
And just looking forward to killing that 12-year-old girl. Back outside, more soldiers are spawning.
They're re-sprouting. They're regenerating.
Matrix has his giant gun, and this whole part of the movie is what I think led to Contra, right? The video game.
Yes, he's walking along, and it's just the guys are popping up. They're not even trying to hide.
No, he's running around shirtless with the largest possible weapon, unloading without ceasing.
Dozens of dudes are dropping.
Trimming people and the roses. No mercy for the roses.
I thought it was pretty cool how he was walking along and it was trimming the bushes, like the flowers, the roses,
I loved it too.
in front of him. Beautiful.
It was great shots. Matrix kills the last few visible baddies in the garden before making his final approach to the house. And as he hops this stone fence...
Yeah.
You hear guns going off in the background. Who the fuck are they shooting at?
There's just background gunfire.
Is the guys just shooting at? I think he's over here. They're
These guys are about that inept, so it's possible.
Anyway, we cut back to the basement. You'll be surprised. Jenny's still running.
She's still hiding, running.
Quick cut. Matrix is on the roof.
How did he get there?
Why is he there?
It's not the best place. Is that where he expects to find Jenny?
I have no idea. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna cut a lot of excess from this episode and let you guys know that Jenny is in the basement. It's sort of Nightmare on Elm Street-ish.
He's right behind her. He must be going to get her any moment.
Bennett's running out. And so we're just so you know, that's happening.
That is happening.
Yes.
Even as Matrix is killing other guys on the surface.
Yes. So outside on the roof, some complete fucking moron is following Matrix onto the roof. Why wouldn't you stay on the ground?
Just shoot him.
Shoot him from... He's like a chimney stack. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
He's not... Matrix isn't even trying to take cover or hide. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Oh, God.
It's become just a blur of flesh and blood.
Anyway, Matrix enters the house, and he's just loudly kicking down doors and yelling Jenny's name.
Jenny! Ah!
Why would you do this? There are armed people in the house. Why would you give away your position?
He's fearless.
Maybe Matrix's name is Give Away My Position.
Be killed. He is the T-800.
Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe he is.
This is an unofficial sequel to Terminator.
He's in the belly of the beast. He's giving away his position. What the fuck? Anyway, the bad guys, on the other hand, are hiding. Not that it does any good because they're all terrible shots. And he jumps out and kills them.
He decides, enough of this looking inside shit.
Well, no,
Let me go back outside.
But before that, we finally get a shot of Arius getting locked and loaded.
Okay.
Yep.
He's finally ready to take up arms.
Yep. Matrix decides that this was not the right side of the house.
He's like, enough of this inside bullshit.
And he jumps off a balcony. And what does he land on?
He lands on a couple of dudes and a glass patio, some glass patio furniture.
Jeez, yeah, he fumbles with these guys for a second. And then we finally see Arius making his way down with the gun, and he opens fire. It's a battle.
Finally.
Arius.
Is Arius the big bad, or is Bennett the big bad?
That depends on your own point of view, Kevin.
A certain point of view?
A certain point of view? Yeah, because Arius is obviously the bigger threat as far as geopolitical norms are concerned.
But Bennett is a match for him, maybe.
Bennett is the bigger existential threat for Matrix.
He poses more of a physical threat.
To him and to his daughter. Anyway... There's a gunfight finally between Arius and Matrix.
Neither guy is able to hit much,
which is not surprising. This goes on for a while. Arius makes a run for it. I love the like Matrix holding giant ass machine guns like 9mm and just emptying the clip as Arius is running past that long glass corridor.
Absolutely. I think it's like an M16 or something that he has there.
It's pretty badass. He throws the machine gun down and now he's like, fuck it, I'm going at him with a shotgun.
He's done a shotgun, old school, baby.
He flings himself through a set of double doors riddled with glass.
Broken glass everywhere.
Rolls to cover. Across broken glass, one would assume.
Yep, of course. He's impervious.
Arius tries to hit him again and again and can't do it. They're going at each other. No one can hit anyone. Arius, I like Arius' strategy here. It's classic military tactics. Take the higher ground. I have the higher ground.
Full on Scarface.
Yeah. He's running upstairs.
He wasn't hiding, though.
No, he parks it on the landing and he's like, I'm going to try again from here because I can see what's going on. Matrix is sort of at the bottom of the stairs. There's again, this back and forth. No one is doing anything until Matrix does a patented barrel roll type somersault.
Barrel roll pops up, probably puts 4 shells in the guy's chest.
Oh, yeah. And every shot landed.
Yeah. Oh, he lit him up.
So Arius, he flips out a glass door over a railing off the side of the house. No regime change today.
And somehow, some way, Matrix hears Jenny from the basement calling out for daddy.
Dad? Yeah, there's no time to savor this moment.
There is no chance that is audible.
Her voice is remarkably clear.
Maybe it's carrying through the ventilation.
Well, the house is an acoustical marvel.
It must be.
So he runs down, and here, folks, is where we can get back to Jenny, who's been pursued by Bennett.
She's hiding. Matrix comes down. He's calling out Jenny, 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 which gives her, I guess, a false sense of security.
Which is fucking stupid. Again, why is he doing this? Jenny follows Daddy's bad example and starts doing the same thing.
She pops out from her hiding place.
Stupid.
Bennett grabs her from behind and is like, no, not Daddy.
So intense. That was a really good impression.
It was gross.
No, your impression, though, was great.
Thanks, buddy.
That was really good.
All right, I try.
So Matrix is like wandering around, looking around for Jenny and Bennett. Bennett jumps out of nowhere, pulling Jenny and fires off a shot.
It grazes Matrix. It broke his skin, which is more than what we've seen so far, I think, in this battle.
So now we have a confrontation that's been building for most of the movie. Matrix is sort of wounded. Bennett has the upper hand in that he has a gun and Jenny. Yeah. And there's some shitty banter back and forth. Bennett's toying with Matrix, saying, just stick your head out. One shot between the eyes.
It's like, I'll make it painless.
Yeah. And Matrix, though, starts saying, it's me that you want. I'm less of a threat now that I'm wounded,
He's
right?
Like, come on, you can take me. I've only got one arm.
He starts really massaging sexually that ego. He's telling Bennett, he's like, hey, man, you should ditch that. And even I will give kudos to Arnold at this point because his voice goes a little softer.
Yeah.
It goes a little more like to
soothing.
It's sort of sexy. He's like, ditch this chicken shit gun and fight like a man.
And he even steps out from his hiding spot and he's like presenting himself like, you could just kill me. I'm not a threat to you almost.
Bennett can't resist that physique. He's like, put a knife in me, like turn it. You want to look me in the eye and see what happens when you turn it.
Oh,
wow. It's
Bennett's like his eyes are starting to like boggle. Like
it's erotic.
You described his face as orgasmic.
It is.
It really is.
It's like he's like, oh.
It was his O face.
It is. And it's not the first time, but it's the most obvious moment where I thought that Bennett might be in love or in some way like a fatal attraction obsession with Matrix.
He's telling him, he's like, you can beat me. You don't need the girl. You don't need the gun.
And this is when he says, don't deprive yourself of some pleasure.
Yeah.
Ooh. He knows. He knows
what Bennett wants.
Yeah. So
what Bennett wants is to prove that he's the better man. And you're not going to prove that you're the better man by shooting an unarmed guy.
And I love this when he's just like sort of Matrix is twirling that knife around. Come on, Bennett. Let's party.
That's a great meme. I like to send that to people on their birthdays.
But this whole deal is working. Bennett is whipped he's like worked into a lather.
All right, he's fully fluffed.
He's like, I can beat you. He's like, I can beat you. He does. He is fully erect underneath his chainmail, his fake chainmail.
He's like, I don't need the girl.
I don't need a gun.
He chucks his gun aside. He's like, I'm gonna kill you now.
But even that look on his face is just like it is insanity.
This guy Vernon Wells can channel insanity.
He can. I've always said though that insanity is an easy emotion or it's not an emotion. It's easy to play because playing unhinged in a lot of ways is easier than showing a character that's got, say, a lot of subtlety. Layers. Yeah, a lot of subtlety. Yeah. It's easy to play off the rails.
And well, Vernon Wells,
he fucking nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it. The knife fight.
Yeah, thus begins the fight that goes on for some time.
Supposedly in the original draft, before the director kind of got kill crazy and wanted to top Rambo 2's body count, this whole fight was supposed to play out like on another island. That there was like a boat chase to another island. Actually, the gunnery range that Bill Paxton was telling us about earlier. So there's like explosions going off around them and stuff.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
But they blew all the money on having him kill 100 guys. So
that makes sense.
Now we wound up there fighting in a boiler room. But it actually makes more sense. It's like, I don't know, the original ending to Back to the Future was supposed to be in like New Mexico where there's a nuclear test going on.
Wow.
And that's where they got the power to send the DeLorean back. But the studio didn't want to spend that money, so they had to keep it on the back lot. Similarly to that, I think this actually works better than if they were on some other island, some other location.
Save the clock tower. It makes it more iconic.
And it makes the story more tightly wound.
Absolutely.
Than having some huge set piece on another location.
I did not know that. That's awesome. So in this knife fight, there are slashes exchanged, none are landing before they stop momentarily to circle each other because that's what you do in a knife fight. Bennett's sort of taunting and lunging at Matrix. I love that. And then Bennett gets a slash. He slashes him in the midsection and then starts saying, "You're getting old, John. You're getting old." Then he lunges. Matrix dodges and cuts Bennett's arm.
Yeah.
Then they end up grappling each other for a second with blades millimeters from each other's faces.
They're like in a battle of strength.
Right.
And somehow Bennett is holding his own.
Adrenaline and sexual frustration.
He's got that horny strength.
That's right. They sort of push each other out this door. They both fall over a railing and plummet about, I don't know, like 15 feet down onto a catwalk.
They're sort of hand fighting some more, going at it like pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Honestly. Vernon Wells said that like making this movie was so fun, it was better than any drugs. I think it's just like you're having a blast. It's like an adrenaline fueled sort of. You're getting to fight on
being in a performance situation like that. Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that.
Bennett showing maniac strength, like just rips the door off this furnace or boiler,
right,
or whatever it is. That how many hundreds of degrees would that door be?
Pretty hot. It would burn your flesh off.
Now Bennett's wearing some leather gloves.
Right.
Maybe that helps him a little bit, but he throws the door at Matrix. And Matrix barehandedly is using the door like a shield. That would burn the flesh off your hands.
Yeah, but in that situation,
has to be 500-600 degrees, maybe 1,000 degrees.
That's like a Catelyn Stark move though in Game of Thrones, where someone's coming at you with a razor sharp knife, and you're like, "Fuck it, I've got to grab this thing to get it away from you," and like grabs it.
But it doesn't appear to actually hurt Matrix.
Nothing does. Has anything hurt? Like he did grimace one time. He grimaced briefly in the tool shed.
Yeah. So he's using this red hot furnace door as a shield.
Yeah.
As Bennett is swinging a pipe at him.
Right. They both become weaponless after a few exchanges. Matrix blocks a punch and throws Bennett into the wall, only to have him then like pivot and start to push his face into the furnace.
Yeah. That's a nice moment.
It is a really good moment. There was some good physical acting face wise from Arnold where he's like, like straining against the hand. It's really good. Yeah. They momentarily switch positions before this is amazing. Matrix headbutts and punches Bennett into an electrical array.
I don't know what it is.
Why is it down there?
But yeah, he throws him into a thing. There's sparks flying everywhere. It's like he's being electrified
and screaming
in pain. And it's like And then he bounces off this thing, and it's like he's fucking amped up.
It's like you plugged in your iPhone after a 5-hour charge, and he comes off, and he's like, "Wow!" Yeah, he comes right.
It invigorates him.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
All
so
of a sudden,
funny.
he's like landing blows on Matrix that's hurting him. He's like, "I feel good."
Well, see, this is hysterical because the review that I mentioned in one of the earlier episodes on RogerEbert.com from this guy Sites, he talks about this moment in particular when he originally saw it in the theater, and some guy that was in the theater on his date with his on a date with his girlfriend, like this scene's happening. He's like, it's like a fucking cartoon, and it really
This
is.
movie is a cartoon.
It is, and it's awesome.
He's like, I feel good. I love that moment.
I do too.
He's
like,
punching him
he's
out.
like, what's it like? What's it feel like to be a dying man? You're a dead man, John.
And that's when Matrix sort of regathers his strength, says, bullshit.
It's been a rope of dope.
Yeah, man.
Rope of dope.
He comes back and just starts beating the hell out of Bennett.
Yeah, by Bennett.
Slams his body up against, like, I guess a big boiler or something.
Bennett like falls down.
Yeah, he does.
And
he
pulls
comes
an
up with a little
Uzi
handheld,
from
like, tiny handheld Uzi.
From where?
From where? From his butt crack?
From
the
his
ground?
boot?
I don't know where it came from.
Did he have it? No one knows where.
I don't know, because we've never seen anyone holding that gun before right now.
And then we get one of the weaker kiss off lines in the entire movie, but that's okay because Bennett's not Schwarzenegger. But he says, I'm not going to shoot you between the eyes. I'm going to shoot you between the balls.
There you go. And Matrix.
That's terrible writing, right?
It is. I mean, he's referencing the fact that he said he'd shoot him between the eyes earlier.
Yeah, but
still, that's
between the
made
balls.
It sexual too, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's true too.
Matrix like just rips a pipe off the wall somehow, some way. Superhuman strength.
Feat of strength, Kevin.
Feat of strength. Number 1,000 for this movie, I think. And he like heaves it at him like a javelin. Fucking goes right through him.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm saying this is not chainmail that he's wearing. I think it's just chainmail looking.
It could go through
stop that, right?
Nah.
If it was metallic?
If Hercules threw a javelin at you, it's going through your chainmail. And I think at this point, if Arnold can rip through chains, he can throw a pipe through chainmail.
He can throw a pipe 1,000 miles an hour.
Through chainmail.
Yes, of course.
Yes. So I think it is chainmail. I think that Bennett, who is still living...
It impales Bennett.
Yes.
And ruptures, I guess, the boiler that's behind him. So now you got this steady stream of steam blowing out the end of the pipe.
That's actually a pretty cool effect.
I found myself thinking if he really did chuck that pipe through him, wouldn't the pipe be clogged up with a bunch of Bennett flesh?
Shh, Kevin.
Okay,
Shh.
fair enough.
Also, if he punctured the boiler, would the house be in danger of blowing up?
I don't know how that works. The fact that the steam is blowing through that pipe gives Matrix just the excuse he needs to drop his last great one-liner, which is...
Let off some steam, Bennett.
Great line. I feel like that scene was written to service that line.
Yes. Of course it was.
I got the line. Now what needs to happen to make this line make sense?
Boiler. I got it.
If there's steam blowing out through his body some kind of way. As you say.
He could have killed him in a sexy sauna situation, but I don't know.
Jenny is hella cheerful.
I think she's just
like all
she's just
smiles.
glad to be alive.
Considering what she's just witnessed, but she has that look on her face like, I'm so proud of you, Dad.
But then again, she's John Matrix's daughter, so who knows what she's been exposed to this point. This might be old hat, and she's just like, oh, Dad, thanks.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole ending scene, though, works for me.
Absolutely.
It's the ending that this movie deserves.
Well, yeah, it's the one that it constructed.
We don't get, what is that thing? We don't get the hero we need. The hero is it's not the ending we needed, but it's the ending we deserved.
That's right. There's one of my favorite shots in the whole movie is this cool shot of 3 choppers rolling in with the amphibious airplane just behind as it's making a water landing. I think that's awesome.
That's really sweet. Yeah.
Kirby lands on the beach. The Matrices. The Matrices walk up on the beach. John is carrying Jenny nonchalantly.
It's a fucking awkward way to be carrying her.
Well, she's too big for him. And that makes me think that everyone saying that he's not 6'2", I believe that he's probably not 6'2".
Oh, I think he is.
I don't think he is.
I want him to be.
Her body is very long for his body at that moment.
He's carrying her. She's sort of like sitting in his arms.
But she looks very long.
She's not hurt. There's no need for him to be carrying her like this.
No, exactly.
That's just awkward. The way it was done was awkward.
That's Arnold being like, I'm your father.
She's too old to be being carried.
Correct.
The whole thing is just weird.
We can agree on that.
So Kirby says to Matrix, did you leave anything for us?
Just bodies.
Just bodies.
Kirby asks Matrix basically says, I want you to come back, start up your unit. You might remember earlier in the movie when Kirby promised that Matrix would be left alone to live his new life.
Matrix refuses. Matrix tells Kirby
this was the last time.
And Kirby says, until the next time.
But then Matrix looks at Jenny and then at Jenny's new mom, Cindy.
Oh, shit.
and says, no chance.
It was almost like he was trying to fight his accent.
He was John Matrix willing his Austrian accent to be American.
I loved it. So he takes Jenny, he hops on the Goose amphibious plane.
That's right.
With Cindy, and away they go.
Whew. Kevin.
Oh, and we're played out by the song "We Fight for Love" by The Power Station.
Damn right we do. What else is there to fight for?
We fight for love.
We fight for bourbon.
Yes.
We fight for Cheetos. I don't fight for Cheetos.
Delicious 80s action movies.
Yeah, you do. We both do.
This movie, on the credits, there's more credits for stuntmen than there are for actors.
That makes sense. That's plausible.
100%. Apparently, this movie was like huge in Japan.
I buy that too. Well, I think that any movie like this, China and Japan both, and Korea, have an amazing culture, like an amazing action movie culture. Yeah, so it's not hard for me. They eat it up. So it's not hard for me to believe that this was really big at the time. I mean, some of the greatest action movies ever, like even American ones, are remakes of ones that were originally made in Asia.
So somehow, despite the fact that she had no singing experience at all, Alyssa Milano, like some Japanese record company, offered her a 5-record deal based off the fact that they loved this movie in Japan.
And never heard her sing?
Had never heard her sing. I don't think she had singing experience.
That is supposedly amazing.
All 5 of the albums went platinum in Japan.
The fuck?
I gotta find these albums. They're probably fucking incredible, like train wrecks.
Or terrible, yeah.
I mean,
like this movie.
This is also morbid. The director, Lester, said that he heard that child soldiers in Africa like to watch this movie to get pumped up.
Oh,
that's fucked.
That's real sad.
I don't like that, dude.
I don't either. Don't be a child soldier. If you can run away, run away. Just do that.
There was a plan for a sequel to this movie. Did you read the legend that like the planned sequel became Die Hard?
Right.
Which is not true, according to D'Souza. D'Souza says the plot, though, was that Matrix became like head of security for a sort of a shady multinational corporation, but he installed all these sort of retired commando type guys to defend the building and set up an impregnable, defense. And then something bad happens, and Cindy and Jenny are being held captive in the building, and he's got to break in and get them out.
That sounds like a cross between Die Hard and Taken.
Yeah. This movie's almost Taken, isn't it?
Taken is so good.
It really is. It's a more realistic world version of this.
That movie is amazing. I don't know if it's in my top 5, but especially as far as like recent action movies go, it's like within the last 15 years or so, I would say that like the Bourne movies en masse, John Wick, and Taken are like near the top.
But yeah, so that's Commando.
We packed it away.
We did it. Thanks for coming on this journey with us.
It was just as ludicrous as the movie itself. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and we hope you tune in next time. We'll be back next week with a fresh batch of mayhem for you.
Something equally amazing.
We're not going to tell you what it is now, but
we'll figure it out.
We'll tease this week on social media. So check us out on Instagram, 6DOS Podcast, Facebook at the same, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, we'll be back.